Etna, the volcano. The word Etna is not Sicilian. Probably it derives from a language spoken by first inhabitants of Ireland, Ellini, living there before Sicani. Another meaning is mountain or group of mountains. Another name is Mongibello, meaning mount. Gebel means in Arab mount, the mount for excellence. It was so called at the times of Arab domination in Sicily. 3,346 meters full of fire, of roof, but making the world a show of great scientific importance, with a lot of resources for residents as a counterpart to what Etna lives or gives back. Now we observe a phase of the 1987 eruption. Takes was kept from Mount Simon, 2,000 meters high. Full explosive activity. From the mouth of the volcano there is a stream of materials, both solid and liquefied. In a relatively short time they will form the volcanic cone. That is the reason why the age of Etna varies a lot during the time, because of materials sent forth from mouths of the volcano's border, or for the falling down of the same materials. For example, the highness in 1865 was 3,313 meters. In 1800, 3,370. In 1930, 2,263 meters. And finally, in 1971, 3,346 meters.
Hai visto? Questa è forte, forte.
Many tourists. Lava begins flowing down to the valley. The streams of lava. Lava is flowing down to the Valle del Bove. The big valley takes its origin in the darkness of the past. Its extension is about 30 kilometers. Nothing in common with valleys. Imagine Montmartre a valley a deep pound, covering about 1/6 of the whole volcanic mountain. See now what happens when lava flows loosely. The streams flowing just now from the mouth is fluid and at a very high temperature. Then it will go down to the valley. Contrada Rinazze, 1983 eruption picture. Lava at a very high temperature flows slowly but continuously, creating a ledge front tens of meters high, bearing woods, fields and buildings. People pray in memory of the 1886 eruption, stopped at a few steps from Nicolosi in front of the St. Agat's Veil, shown by Cardinal Dasmet. First the inner with furniture, and then the external wall. In the number of modern eruptions, the most famous and destructive dates from 1669, all began with a vending in the central crater in Nicolosi. A fusion mouth opened in the lower part with different explosive mouths, forming some hills all around. A stream of fluid lava generated about 968 million in cubic meters of lava. This stream reached Catania. A part of the town was buried. The stream reached the sea with a further advancing of about 700 meters. The Castello Ursino Castle, then situated on the sea, became suddenly the center of a very new quarter in the town. In 1928, another very famous eruption destroyed Mascali. In 1970, there happened a very strange phenomenon, a fountain of lava 800 meters high, and then a big jet. Finally, in 1949, there was 2 months southwest and north of Etna. Now we see destruction of a restaurant. People are working to save what can be taken away. Place Palmintelli. We are 1,000 meters high. The Gaulish landscape were destroyed. Landowners see powerless. The destruction, statistics and science show that lands invaded by lava cannot flourish again before 500 years. But the strong Slovak peasants never waited a day more than necessary to show again that natural order, the ones on Mount Etna, was back. As true soldiers, they were very strong in conquering inch by inch the land of lava called by August von Platen Ruby's reign. Madame de Stael saw it like a wild beast descending silent and cruel for them, for peasants. When suddenly it is bad grass to eradicate. We see now Rifugio Sapienza of Club Alpino Italiano. The Cayo of Etna, the oldest section in Sicily, has created 7 refuges on different directions. Refuge Citelli, East Etna, Refuge Inomensa in this valley of Co, now partly destroyed. The little refuge South part destroyed by an earthquake because eruption you see now. Philosopher Tower, South part again. Refuge Conti, North Etna, and Refuge Sapienza, South Etna. During this eruption, it was destroyed. The valley again. Lava is very thick, almost powdered, fragment at format. The deep color lava is contrasting with the dark of the night. Now we are Riga, near the mouth in a hellish landscape. May 1st, 1983, lava is flowing on a pest eruption well alimented. Lava is flowing in a channel formed by itself, solid in surface, and going to the valley. Old lava emerged as left. Yellow colors derive some sulfur minerals on it, while stems of today's eruption are flowing out. All around it, we can see very special structures of lava, or nidos. Such scenes are always the same from millenaries back to the night of the time. Man observes volcanoes birth. In Mexico, in 1943, a peasant while laboring in a field saw a funnel from where gas and stems went out. In a few days, the funnel threw away some little rocks. A week after, they formed a little cone 150 meters high. Then, among lava and propylites, a new hill was grown up. The world looks like a mountain. Now we see the measuration of the magma temperature in this point is between 150 and 1100 degrees. Researcher is emerging along road. Road is burning with stems, gas on the surface of lava. Temperature was 1070 degrees and the stream is still well fed. Now we see an explosion of gas on the surface of lava. To the top, it's a very interesting show. In the valley, it became destruction and despair. Trees are burning. There was fruits and grass. Our operators saw this rock ground up in 3 hours. It will roll and go down. It will get far down. The tree is burning. Unfortunately, you can hear loud voices applauding and chanting for what is happening. Such people are nothing to lose. They came here to enjoy a show. Other people are in despair. Picture of Mount Etna, taken from Nicolosi and Pedara to a touristic center near the volcano. Now this crater, this site near Center Crater, May 27, 1911, after a sudden crash, a new crater was created whose activity was so high to allow us consider as a derivation from this central one. The top activity was in May 1925, with explosion noises and streams of lava. There was finally a crash near Monte Nero, with streams of lava, so that land all around was devastated near Lingua Glossa. 78 years after, the crater with very intense activity is formed again, higher and thicker than before, 50 meters higher, the central crater.
Io sono sposato con questa montagna. Una vita per me senza l'Etna è impossibile. Prima voglio morire, impossibile.
I am married with this mountain. My life is impossible without Etna. It should be better to die before. We just saw and heard Mr. Muller, a German engineer, an amateur volcanologist spending his life of Etna. Picture of September 1986, Northwest Crater. It will crash in September 24 in the surrounding part with a flash of the place where our operator was. On the left of the northeast crater. Accidents happen rarely, very rarely. So, it is not the fault of visit or guidance, but of the lack of conscience of some tourists going all alone in forbidden places. Be sure no danger if you stay with your guide, if you pay attention. There are tourists with guides on sitters' cars. They are arriving to the crater. Here is Antonio Nicoloso, the boss, as the most famous Etna guide, with his staff. Here is Orazio Nicoloso, another famous guide, scrutinizing every little sign of volcano life. Antonio and Orazio Nicoloso, men like this, gave celebrity to our volcan. Here is Philosopher Tower, 2,990 meters high. A tourist is showing a rock yellow-red with sulfur minerals. Picture of southeastern crater. Tourists arrive with their guides.
Davvero? Sara, fa bene per l'acne!
From crater surface stems. Sarah, it's good for your acne. Someone says they are healthy. Now we see holes with stems going out. There are pictures taken in the inner roof southeast crater. One can understand the importance of guides in such cases for the land's nature. Here we see sulfur minerals sedimented on the rocks, also for some very dangerous stems. You can rely completely upon guides. They have a lot of competence. Etna is their second home. We are gone down to the Piccolo Rifugio, destroyed by lava in 1985. There are the pillars of the Hotel Eferic interrupted by lava. Crater Silvestri with rushes black canes for the high amount of iron oxides. Turrets are going down in the mount of 1892 lava. This crater was so called in honor of Professor Orazio Silvestri. We are now to the departure of the teleferic. We see now Rifugio Sapienza, 1986 meters high. Etna is not only eruption, it's chiefly tourism, teleferic, ski lift, souvenir shops, good cafe and restaurants. It's one of the most important tourist centers in Sicily. Etna is the place of some very interesting shows, both of folkloristic and sport. There is Gilo Grotto, 2,000 meters high, the most famous grotto in Etna and one of the most beautiful in the Mediterranean Sea. One can see inside icy stalactites and stalagmites. When an eruption is over and the lava streams is no more fed by eruptive mouth, it happens a strange phenomenon, generally unperceived. In contact with air, the external surface of lava is scalding because of the radiation. Suddenly, a kind of solid and coident pipe is forming, with no trespassing of it from inside to outside. Being protected in this way by cooling, the inner part is flowing down with the same temperature of the beginning. There is such a cooling that sometimes people are allowed to cross. 10 of meters down, temperature is about 100-900 degrees. One can easily understand that once the eruption over, the inner flowing is like a true channel with grotto and holes. We see now Dove's Grotto. Grotto like this is very common on Etna. So said right at Shola, if one could, for example, cut a circular part of a volcane, one should find its inner part full of holes, like a big honeycomb. This is Lamponi Grotto, at a famous grotto near Pietro Clarenza, formed by lava of 1669. Burro Grotto, 250 meters long, and finally Gelo Grotto, 50 meters long, both near Randazzo. Between San Gregorio and Figarazzi there is some 500 meters long. Different phases of the same eruption again. There is different kinds of volcanic activity as well as different types of volcanoes. Hawaiian classic volcan in shape of shield very low. Strombolian extractive volcano, Vulcanian type, chiefly explosive, and so on. But it's very difficult to classify a volcano like Etna because it's the sum of every kind of volcano. It's a volcanic whole composed by about 200 craters. Aron Taziev, the famous French volcanologist, so define it, my lab. Pictures of March 23, 1985. Lava is almost on the same path of 1983. Lava touches the physical observatory. We're about 2,100 meters high. Snow is placed to lava. Snow is persistent on volcan for 7 months about. Snow and rain are dissolved, are not enough retained by solidified lava, lapilli. So water is dispersed in the land, which is retained from clay channeled and direct down to the valley. great astrophysical observatory. The most important goods of these rivers formed to the ground is for Alcantara and Simeto rivers, see pictures, flowing near the mountain, and for underground mythical rivers, Amenano, Fiumefreddo, and Daci, furnishing the waters reservoir of the zone. This is why Catania almost never meets water. The Tisno Crater, September 24, 1986. The crash of Northeast Crater originated the cloud you can see now, covered with the whole eastern Sicily with volcanic ashes. A volcano is an articulated system. A volcanic apparatus is formed by a deep pipe called magmatic basin, from where magma comes up. A volcanic pipe where material is mounting up. A volcanic mound gradually formed with the accumulation of materials in the crater, often with smaller craters. Following researches realized by the Institute of Science of Art, University of Catania, it should exist a magmatic room about 2 kilometers deep as regards to the central crater, about 1,300 to 1,350 meters on the sea level. Another magmatic room should be placed at about 15-20 kilometers deep. Following from shoulders, one superior magmatic room is empty. After an eruption, it is refilled through pipes connected with inferior reservoir. We are now to the central crater. Following picture, one can understand the feelings of tourists when they are described it in this way. When I saw first, it was so good. Any sheet was crossed from layered pieces in every sense and of every dimension. Stems cut out from whole place all around on the walls. Some were continuous and with intermission, like some steam locomotives. Some were high gases, some were soft. They are slow gas, they are playing. It was a fantastic science fiction scenery. Some gas jets were high and impressive, from bottom to high. They were high and tall and waltzed to the border of the big cone. Altogether, the stems created a kind of fade. But sound wind was enough, only a few moments to cancel the fluctuating sea of gas, showing terrible landscape. We see now grotto of flowed lava formed during the 1985 eruption. Tornadoes again. Here again the Little Refugio or intermediate station, destroyed by lava in 1985. taken from Belvedere on Etna, 2,900 meters high, is clearly showed we can see bottom craters on the piece created from highness 1,800 to 3,000 meters. A valid theory on the nature of the volcanic phenomenon, on the cause of the eruption, was formulated in our century by Alfred Rippon, founder of the Institute of Volcanology, University of Catania, father of a theory, tectonic plaques. Alfred Rippon has left a great scientific contribution both to researchers and for the taste of volcano he produced in many resident researchers. Particularly some scholars, chiefly of Catania, gave a lot of contribution to the eruptive activity of Etna. Following a relation of Professor Romano Istoriale, eruption systems of Etna are generally formed from fissures sometimes several kilometers long, over there numerous explosive mouths are generated, called bottom mouth and effusive mouths, and rarely eruptive cones. Fissures assume the well-orientated direction. The five-stream direction depends, on the contrary, from morphological structure of the crossed territory. Generally, streams are 7.5 kilometers long, with a maximum of 1 kilometer about during the eruption of 1974, and a maximum of 15 kilometers during this one of 1669. The median thickness is of about 12 meters. The area covered by lava is 78 kilometers, with a minimum of half kilometer, and a maximum of 37 for the eruption above cold. The medium speed during eruption on the base of all estimated eruption is about 25 cubic meters per second, with a minimum of maximum of 96 cubic meters during the above cold eruption. If one then considers the permanent activity on the top of the volcano, there is a relatively important eruption every 8 years. Generally, an eruption lasts from 2 to 4 weeks, in the alpha cases. But there is several examples of eruption lasting 6 months or more than 1 year. It's the case of the 1960, with some exception. It is one of the biggest explosive moments in the Valle del Bove. The Seamount treatment formed during the eruption ended in February 1987. The structure of lava are called dicci. Che are numerous in Valle del Bove. From the same position, 1 year after the eruption, one can see eruptive apparatus of Mount Rickman. The zone is hard and dangerous. Lava still very hot, but our cameraman took all the same these beautiful pictures. Fine colors produced by calca, sulfur and other minerals. Our cameraman showed the continuity of life also in such a dangerous zone. Myriads of ladybirds first take possession of these places. From the zone we can see Valle del Bove. From everywhere it's bounded from high walls of basaltic rocks, conglomerates and tuffs, high minimum 600 meters, maximum 1,200 meters. It's a big mountain, 3,000 meter high, ripped up from top to base. No trees, no living beings, full silence. The whole speaks about such a dramatic prehistoric disaster to shake fundamentally the big volcano and the whole Sicily. Pictures of Southeast Crater during the eruption of January 1989. It's an absolutely unique and interesting and scientific show. It not means destruction, but not only this, consternation. For local residents, it became a living presence in the everyday life, with whom there is a sincere friendship, giving a sense of protection. Aaron Tazier declared long ago, Etna is a blessing for a lot of people living on this large field, whose fertility is continually renewed by basaltic power exhalated from crater. A blessing for bystanders coming there to admire the magnificent show of an erupting volcano. A blessing for tour operators and tourists. A blessing finally for volcanologists. This is the Ena Southeast Crater. It's an absolutely unique picture, for its beauty was taken from a very dangerous point. The world of Etna is not fabulous. It's a very concrete reality founded on past and present stories, on incomparable facts and events. Here, one can discover wonderful plants, charming landscapes, and tourist places and hotels well known all the world over. Let's consider the mysterious power of volcano. It's erupted out from the core, is hidden in the Ena, in the deepest part. One shall understand why Etna del Mongibello is truly the mount for excellence. Now we are leaving you, hoping to meet you again here to enjoy directly the show. Bye-bye.